Hi, Virgo. Thank you for being here. Okay, what I'm seeing for you right now is unlike anything I've encountered before. Subscribe immediately because this energy is extra. There's pattern forming around your life trajectory that carries intensity and magnitude I rarely witness, where multiple significant forces are converging simultaneously in ways that suggest your reality is about to transform. So fundamentally that looking back, you'll measure your life in terms of before this shift and after this shift. Not typical evolution where you grow incrementally over time, not standard life progression where one chapter flows naturally into next chapter. Radical discontinuity, complete reorganization, transformation so thorough that who you are after this process completes will barely recognize who you were before it began. The shift isn't just external circumstances changing, though they will change dramatically. It's internal consciousness transforming in ways that make you a fundamentally different person operating from completely different paradigm. And the unprecedented quality? I've read for countless people, witnessed thousands of energetic patterns, observed how transformation typically unfolds, and what's active around you right now doesn't follow standard patterns, doesn't look like normal breakthrough or typical elevation. This is category defying change. This is once in lifetime opportunity for complete reinvention. This is universe or fate or divine orchestration, whatever framework resonates for you, creating conditions for you to become who you've always had potential to become but haven't yet actualized. In the specific convergence of forces around you currently, there's sense of destiny accelerating, of timeline compressing, of what should take years happening in months or weeks, of readiness. You've been building suddenly, meeting opportunity that matches that readiness perfectly. Everything you've survived, everything you've learned, everything you've developed, all of it was preparing you for exactly this moment when preparation converts into manifestation at scale and speed that feels almost supernatural. Let me illuminate what patterns might be active in this extraordinary transformation. In the mechanics of profound transformation, certain elements consistently appear when change is going to be this significant. Multiple life domains shift simultaneously rather than just one area improving while others stay stable. Career and relationships and internal consciousness and external circumstances all reorganizing in coordinated way that suggests orchestration beyond your conscious control. This multi-domain transformation is what creates the feeling of everything changing at once. Your situation likely involves exactly this comprehensive shift, not just getting new job or new relationship or new perspective, but all of those potentially shifting together. Not just healing one wound, but multiple wounds, resolving simultaneously, not just one breakthrough, but cascade of breakthroughs, where solving one problem creates conditions that solve three other problems. uh, the transformation is holistic rather than isolated, systemic rather than incremental, complete rather than partial. Notice if you've been experiencing unusual synchronicities lately, if doors have been opening you didn't knock on, if people have been appearing at exactly right time with exactly right resources or information, if obstacles that seemed permanent have been dissolving almost effortlessly, if things that were stuck for years suddenly moving, these signs often precede massive transformation. They're early indicators that something larger than normal change is organizing itself. Some profound transformations are spiritual awakenings, where consciousness shifts from one level of awareness to qualitatively different level, where you suddenly perceive reality in ways you couldn't perceive before, where understanding arrives that reorganizes everything you thought you knew. These shifts change not what you have, but how you experience what you have, not your circumstances, but your relationship to your circumstances. You might be approaching exactly this kind of consciousness transformation, where veil lifts and you see clearly what was hidden, where limiting beliefs that constrained you for decades suddenly release, where patterns you've been repeating unconsciously become visible, allowing you to choose differently. This internal shift then creates external changes because you're operating from fundamentally different paradigm, making choices a aligned person you're becoming makes rather than choices conditioned person you were made. Others are material manifestations, where external circumstances transform dramatically through career breakthroughs or financial windfalls or relational developments or geographic moves, where what changes is tangible and observable rather than primarily internal. But even these external transformations usually accompany internal readiness. You couldn't have handled this level of external change without internal development that prepared you to manage it. This reflection invites you to consider, does this extraordinary transformation feel more internal, more external, or equally both? Let me clarify what prophecy language suggests about inevitability versus possibility. Prophecy implies future that's already determined, timeline that's set, outcome that's guaranteed, regardless of what you do or don't do. But this isn't entirely accurate. What I'm seeing is high probability based on current trajectory and active forces. But you still have agency. You still make choices that influence how this unfolds. You still participate in creating or preventing what's possible. In the distinction between fate and free will, both operate simultaneously. Certain conditions are created by forces beyond your control. Certain opportunities arrive through timing and circumstance you didn't orchestrate. But whether you recognize those opportunities and choose to engage with them remains your decision. The transformation is available, the possibility is real, the forces are active, but you still have to show up for it, still have to say yes to it, still have to do your part in manifesting what's trying to manifest through you. It's essential you understand you're not passive recipient of predetermined future. You're active participant in co-creating what's possible. The prophecy is about potential reaching critical mass, about readiness meeting opportunity, about timing aligning perfectly, but it still requires your conscious engagement. What I see is what's available to you if you choose it. What becomes actual depends on choices you make in response to opportunities presenting themselves. Some people hearing about extraordinary potential become passive, thinking if it's prophesied, it will happen automatically, so they don't need to do anything. This guarantees the potential won't actualize because extraordinary transformation requires extraordinary engagement, requires you showing up fully, requires you taking aligned action when opportunities present, requires you being brave enough to step into possibilities that might feel too big or too good or too intimidating. You might be tempted toward exactly this passive, waiting, thinking universe will just deliver transformation without requiring your participation. But that's not how this works. The forces are creating favorable conditions, the timing is aligning perfectly, the opportunities are presenting, but you have to notice them, choose them, engage with them, do the work they require, The prophecy is about optimal conditions, not about magic that happens without your involvement. Others become so focused on making prophecy come true that they force and manipulate and control in ways that actually prevent natural unfolding. They're trying so hard to create the outcome they think they're supposed to have that they miss the actual opportunities presenting because those opportunities don't match their mental picture of how things should unfold. This reflection invites you to consider, can you balance trust in what's possible with active engagement in making it actual without either passive waiting or controlling manipulation? Let me address what I never saw something like this reveals about uniqueness and what that means for you. Never seeing this before means your pattern is unusual, your transformation is distinctive, your journey is uniquely yours rather than following template I've observed in others. This could mean the specific combination of changes happening simultaneously is rare, or the speed of transformation is faster than typical, or the magnitude is larger than common, or the nature of shift is category I haven't encountered previously. In the weight of being told your situation is unprecedented. You might feel pressure to live up to extraordinariness, might feel anxiety about whether you're worthy of such significant transformation, might feel imposter syndrome about whether this can really be about you. But extraordinary transformations happen to ordinary people. They're not rewards for being special. They're opportunities that become available when preparation meets timing, regardless of how special or unspecial the person believes themselves to be. It's important you don't let the unprecedented quality create performance anxiety that blocks you from receiving what's available. You don't have to prove you deserve extraordinary transformation. You don't have to earn it through being extraordinary person. You just have to be ready for it and willing to engage with it when it arrives. Your worthiness isn't based on being better than others. It's based on being ready when readiness meets opportunity. Some unprecedented transformations are about scale. The change is same type others experience, but magnitude is much larger. The financial breakthrough is bigger windfall. The relationship is deeper connection. The career leap is more dramatic advancement. It's not that you're special, it's that conditions aligned to create possibility for an amplified version of normal transformation. You might be experiencing exactly this kind of scaled up version of transformation. Others experience in smaller doses. Your preparation was more thorough, so reward is more substantial. Your readiness was more complete, so opportunity presenting is more comprehensive. Your timing aligned more perfectly, so results will be more dramatic. This doesn't make you better, it makes you fortunate in how preparation and opportunity converged. Others are about nature. The transformation is different in kind, not just degree. You're experiencing shift that doesn't fit existing categories. Change that requires new language to describe because old frameworks don't capture what's happening. These are rarest, but when they occur, they often mark people who become examples or teachers for others going through similar unprecedented shifts later. This reflection invites you to consider, does knowing your situation is unprecedented inspire or intimidate you? And what would help you engage with it from inspiration rather than anxiety? Let me speak to what you should actually do with this information about extraordinary transformation. Stay grounded even while remaining open to extraordinary possibilities. Don't let the magnitude of what's possible make you abandon practical responsibilities or sensible choices. Don't use prophecy of great change as excuse to make reckless decisions or abandon current obligations prematurely. Extraordinary transformation that's real and sustainable happens through you maintaining your center, even while everything around you reorganizes. In the balance between openness and groundedness, you're trusting that massive change is possible while still showing up for your actual life today, still handling your responsibilities, still being present with people who depend on you, still maintaining practices that keep you stable. The transformation will happen through your normal life, not instead of your normal life. So, abandoning normal life doesn't accelerate transformation, it usually derails it. It's critical you watch for actual opportunities presenting themselves rather than just imagining what you think transformation should look like and trying to force that vision into reality. The actual opportunities might not match your mental picture, might arrive through unexpected channels, might require you in directions you didn't anticipate. Your flexibility about how transformation manifests determines whether you can receive what's actually available versus only accepting what matches preconceived ideas. When opportunities present, evaluate them carefully, but don't let fear prevent you from engaging with genuine possibilities. Extraordinary transformation often requires extraordinary courage, requires saying yes to things that feel too big, requires stepping into spaces that feel uncomfortable because they're unfamiliar. Your willingness to be uncomfortable, to risk, to trust, to leap when leaping is required, these determine whether potential converts into actual. Some people miss their extraordinary transformation because when it arrives, it feels too scary, too uncertain, too different from what they know, so they choose familiar struggle over unfamiliar possibility. They play small when life is offering them opportunity to play big. They stay safe when movement requires risk. They maintain comfort when growth demands discomfort. You might face exactly these choice points where staying in known becomes increasingly untenable, but stepping into unknown feels terrifying, where current situation clearly isn't working, but new possibility isn't guaranteed to work either. In those moments, trust that staying stuck is actually riskier than moving forward. Trust that extraordinary transformation requires extraordinary faith. Trust that you're being prepared for something your current circumstances can't accommodate. This reflection invites you to consider what would help you recognize and engage with extraordinary opportunities when they present, rather than dismissing them as too good to be true or too scary to attempt. Prophecy very strong. The forces organizing transformation around you carry unusual power and clarity. I never saw something like this. Your pattern is distinctive. Your transformation is unprecedented in my experience. The convergence of favorable conditions around you is rare. What's possible for you right now exceeds what's typically possible. What's available to you carries magnitude. I don't commonly witness, and your work is meeting the extraordinary with your own readiness, engaging with unprecedented possibility through your conscious choice and aligned action, staying grounded while remaining open, being practical, while also being brave enough to step into what might feel too good or too big or too transformative to be real. Trust that you wouldn't be given access to this level of possibility if you weren't ready for it. Trust that your preparation has made you capable of handling what's coming, even if it feels beyond your current capacity. May you recognize the extraordinary when it presents. May you engage with courage rather than retreat in fear. May you trust your readiness for what's becoming available. May you allow transformation to be as complete as it needs to be. Forces are converging unusually. Transformation is gathering powerfully. Your participation determines actualization. The unprecedented becomes actual through your choices. Remember this: extraordinary transformations often feel terrifying before they feel liberating, feel overwhelming before they feel empowering, feel impossible before they prove themselves possible. Your fear about magnitude of change doesn't mean change isn't right for you. It often means change is significant enough to activate all your protective mechanisms designed to keep you in familiar, even when familiar no longer serves. Trust the transformation more than you trust the fear. Trust the possibility more than you trust the doubt. Trust that unprecedented doesn't mean impossible, just means rare and therefore precious when it arrives. Something extraordinary is organizing around you specifically. Right now, actively engage with it consciously.